They call it Hell on Earth, a place where even the guards are afraid to enter and where the prisoners rule everything. This is a world governed not by laws, but by survival of the fittest. Welcome to what has been called the most dangerous prison in the world. Deep in El Salvador lies the penal center La Esperanza, but it's better known by its terrifying nickname, Mariona. This sprawling complex was originally designed to house just 800 inmates. Today, it's a living, breathing nightmare, crammed with over 10,000 souls. From the sky, it looks like a fortress, but on the ground, it's a city of the damned. Inside these walls, you won't see guards patrolling the cell blocks. The only authority here belongs to killers, thieves, and the ruthless leaders of international gangs. They are the ones who decide who gets to eat, who finds a place to sleep, and ultimately, who lives and who dies. The air is thick with tension, the sounds of shouting are constant, and the glint of a homemade weapon is never far from sight. How did a correctional facility descend into such chaos? The story of Mariona is intertwined with the story of El Salvador's brutal gang warfare. The prison became the unwilling home for thousands of members from the world's most violent gangs, primarily the Mara Salvatrucha, or MS-13, and their sworn enemies, the 18th Street Gang, also known as Barrio 18. These two rival factions have turned the prison grounds into a perpetual war zone. They've carved up the territory, with entire cell blocks becoming gang strongholds. It's a nation within a nation, where loyalty is currency and betrayal is a death sentence. The gangs don't just control the space. They control the flow of life itself. Food, water, medicine, even the right to use a smuggled cell phone is dictated by the gang leadership. Walking through the corridors of Mariona is like navigating a minefield. Every corner you turn, every unexpected sound, every lingering stare could be your last. The walls are covered in graffiti, not as art, but as declarations of ownership and threats to rivals. It's a visual language of violence that everyone inside understands perfectly. The guards, hopelessly outnumbered and outgunned, remain on the perimeter. They manage the gates, but what happens inside is largely beyond their control. They are gatekeepers to a kingdom of chaos they dare not enter. The conditions inside are shocking, almost beyond belief. When night falls, there is no light, plunging the overcrowded cells into absolute darkness. There is no ventilation, turning the humid, tropical air into a suffocating blanket. And most importantly, there is no mercy. Imagine a room built for 20 people, now packed with over 75 men. They sleep in shifts, on the floor, shoulder to shoulder, in conditions that defy basic human dignity. The heat is unbearable, the stench is overwhelming, and the psychological pressure is immense. Fights are a daily, almost hourly, occurrence. They erupt over anything and everything: a stolen piece of bread, a perceived insult, or simply the brutal reality of too many desperate men packed into too small a space. The guards almost never intervene. Their role has been reduced to a grim, mourning ritual, collecting the bodies of those who didn't survive the night. One former inmate, his voice still trembling with the memory, said, "If you sleep, you might never wake up. You close your eyes wondering if a knife will find you before the sun does." This isn't just a prison. It's a test of human endurance, pushing its inhabitants to the very brink of sanity and survival. For years, the government struggled to contain the spiraling violence both inside and outside the prison walls. The gangs operating from within Mariona continued to direct criminal activities across the country. But in 2023, the Salvadoran government unveiled a drastic, controversial solution. They constructed a new state-of-the-art mega prison, officially called the Terrorism Confinement Center. This facility is the polar opposite of Mariona. It's a fortress of modern control, designed to hold 40,000 inmates in a state of total lockdown. It's a place even darker, in its own way, than the hell of Mariona. The images from this new prison are chilling. Inmates are marched in chains, stripped of their gang identities, and forced into uniform white shorts. High-tech surveillance cameras watch every move, drones patrol the skies, and heavily armed guards maintain a constant, imposing presence. Here, there are no lawyers, no family visits, just endless corridors of cold, hard concrete and an oppressive silence. The chaos of Mariona has been replaced by the sterile, absolute control of a facility designed to break the human spirit. Freedom doesn't live here. Hope has no space to breathe. Only survival, in its most basic form, remains. The government's message is clear. The era of prisoner-run penitentiaries is over. But it has been replaced by a system that critics argue strips away not just freedom, but humanity itself. The world may have forgotten the thousands of men locked away in these brutal Salvadoran prisons. Their stories are buried under layers of crime statistics and political debates. But inside these walls, time doesn't move forward. Each day is a repeat of the last, a relentless cycle of fear, violence, and despair. As the sun sets over the massive prison compounds, casting long shadows across the concrete yards, a profound silence falls. It's a silence filled with unspoken stories and shattered lives. This is the most dangerous prison on earth, where hope is the first thing to die. Thank you for watching this deep dive into a world most of us will never see. If you found this story compelling and want to see more real stories the world tries to hide, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support helps us continue to bring these important narratives to light. See you in the next one.